The Belgian Malinois is a breed that commands respect and fear. To those who know it, it is not just a dog. It is a force of nature that tests every person it meets. People online see the clips that go viral. They see the walls scaled, the leaps across rooftops, the precision takedowns, and they assume they are watching loyalty in motion. But those images are illusions. What they are really seeing is years of brutal training, endless repetition, and handlers who live by discipline the average owner cannot imagine. The Malinois was not bred for comfort. It was bred for chaos, for missions, for war, for intensity that never ends and cannot be switched off. Average families dream of loyalty without sacrifice. They want devotion without the daily grind of discipline, but this dog doesn't play by those rules. Every single day with a Malinois is a test. Every moment is a challenge to prove you deserve the role of leader, and if you hesitate, the dog notices. The Malinois is relentless in its demands. It does not forgive weakness, and it does not wait patiently for you to figure things out. This breed needs more than exercise. It needs missions, hours of structure, puzzles, and challenges that drain its mind as much as its body. Without that, destruction is inevitable. What begins as restlessness turns into shredded walls, ruined furniture, and behavior that feels like a storm inside your home. Owners call it bad behavior, but it's not bad. It's the Malinois showing you what nuclear energy looks like when trapped with nowhere to go. This is why shelters overflow with surrendered Malinois. Families fall for the fantasy and then drown in the reality they never prepared for. Because here is the paradox. The same traits that make this breed a legend are the same ones that make it a nightmare. Intelligence becomes manipulation, loyalty becomes obsession, and energy becomes chaos. The Malinois does not adapt to you. You adapt to it, or you fail. When you fail, the dog doesn't forgive. It doesn't wait for you to recover. It simply takes control. Handlers in the military call this dog a missile. That is not exaggeration, it is fact. And missiles do not belong in the living rooms of average families. They belong in the hands of professionals who know how to control them. The silence of this breed is another truth most people miss. When the Malinois freezes, it is not calm, it is calculating. And when that calculation ends, the action is instantaneous. There is no bark, no warning, just speed, power, and impact. Average owners mistake obsession for devotion. They think the dog following them everywhere means it loves them more. But obsession is not love, it is control. The Malinois is not bonding, it is monitoring, waiting, deciding who is really in charge. And when the answer is not you, the dog makes its own decisions. That's when the family realizes they are not living with a pet. They are living with a ruler. This is why professional trainers warn against casual ownership. They have seen the aftermath of families unprepared for this storm. They see the destroyed homes, the broken trust, and the dogs surrendered because no one could meet their needs. And they know this cycle will never stop as long as people believe the fantasy. The Malinois exposes weakness immediately. It doesn't care about your excuses, your intentions, or your hopes. It cares only about strength, and if you don't provide it, it takes over. But here is the cruel truth. When this dog is handled correctly, it is breathtaking. In the right hands, it transforms into something extraordinary. It becomes a partner, a guardian, a force that gives everything and demands everything in return. It anticipates your moves. It obeys with precision. It defends with loyalty so absolute, it feels unreal. But most people will never see that side. They see only the nightmare because they are not strong enough to earn the dream. Are you ready to accept the joys and challenges that come with a furry companion, adjusting your routines, and creating a bond that will last a lifetime? Are you willing to dedicate time, effort, and love to nurture this relationship? Reflect on your lifestyle and commitments. Think about how a dog will fit into your world. Are you willing to embrace the responsibilities while also cherishing the companionship and unconditional love they offer? Remember, it's a long-term commitment that requires careful consideration. Hope is a fragile illusion, isn't it? The Malinois needs a steady hand, a leader unafraid to face the truth lurking beneath the surface. Leadership requires more than just confidence. In the end, Facing reality with unyielding strength is the only path to earning the respect needed to lead, for without it, one risks becoming prey to their own misplaced aspirations. True leadership is forged in the fires of honesty and resolve. The dog's presence is unyielding, its gaze unwavering as it nudges you with a wet nose, reminding you of the obligations that can't be ignored. Its energy surges like a tidal wave, relentless. In the end, the dog teaches you that complacency has no place in your life. It insists on your growth and readiness, forging a bond that thrives on mutual commitment and respect. The Malinois is not a companion you casually control. It is a relentless force of energy, intelligence, and drive that demands you prove your authority every single day. To live with this dog is to accept a constant challenge, where hesitation is weakness and inconsistency is punished instantly. Only those willing to meet this test daily can ever hope to experience the loyalty hidden behind its intensity. And when you fail, the Malinois doesn't pause to give you second chances. It doesn't bend itself to your mistakes or wait for you to learn slowly. It steps forward, seizes control, and establishes its dominance with a clarity that leaves no doubt who is in charge. For families unprepared for this reality, the moment of failure is the moment they lose their household to the dog they thought they owned. That is why this breed is far too dangerous for average owners. It is not cruel or malicious. It is simply too powerful, too demanding, and too relentless for people who lack discipline. This is a dog bred for soldiers, handlers, and leaders, not for casual families looking for affection. Without strength, it overwhelms, and without structure, it destroys. The Malinois never switches off, not for an hour, not even for a moment. Its drive surges from the instant it wakes to the second it sleeps, and it carries an intensity that never truly rests. It doesn't slow to match your pace. It forces you to speed up to match its own. And when weakness appears, the Malinois erases it instantly, because survival and control are hardwired into its very nature. The Belgian Malinois is more than a dog. It is a mirror. It reflects the discipline, confidence, and strength of the person who owns it, magnifying both the good and the bad. In the hands of a leader, it shines as one of the most capable, loyal, and extraordinary breeds on Earth. But in the hands of the unprepared, it becomes a devastating force that exposes flaws and magnifies failures until nothing is left standing. In the right hands, the Malinois is breathtaking, capable of feats no other dog can match. It becomes a guardian, a partner, and a living weapon that gives its heart and body completely. But in the wrong hands, it is destructive beyond belief, turning homes into chaos and families into cautionary tales. The same qualities that create legends on the battlefield can turn into disasters in the living room. And that is the truth most people cannot face. They dream of loyalty, but they are not ready for the responsibility. They imagine devotion, but they cannot provide the structure. They admire the legend, but they are not strong enough for the reality. The Malinois does not fail its people fail the Malinois. The Belgian Malinois is not a pet in the traditional sense. It is a test, a trial, a force that separates those who can lead from those who cannot. In elite hands, it becomes a legend, capable of devotion and performance that seem almost beyond the natural world. But in average hands, it becomes a nightmare that consumes homes, families, and lives. This is why shelters are filled with Malinois, not because they are broken, but because their owners were unprepared. Until people accept the brutal truth that this breed is too dangerous for average owners, the cycle of hype, regret, and abandonment will continue. The Malinois will always be extraordinary, but the question is whether you are extraordinary enough to meet it. And for most people, the answer will always be no.